Mountain biking is the sport that we all love. It's what we all enjoy doing. The thrills, the buzz, the sends, the laughs with your mates. It's awesome, but there's a negative side to that, and that is injuries and crashing, and it sucks. And I figured that whilst I'm in the middle of a 3-month injury period, I thought it'd be a great time to sit down and share with you my experiences of the injury and the mentality and the mental side it takes to come through an injury and get yourself back on the bike. I guess we should start this one by backtracking to 11 weeks ago now, which is when I crashed and ended up with a ruptured spleen. I had a grade 2. They grade them between 1 and 5. So mine being 2, it wasn't the worst, but it was bad enough that I was on the edge of having to have my spleen removed. So luckily I managed to keep it. But your spleen is an organ with a very vast blood supply, and you can bleed to death, basically. Doing some reading after, it is quite a dangerous injury, and that was made very clear to me in hospital, which mentally, that kind of set me up to be in a funny frame of mind for the recovery period which was coming. I was told it was 3 months, and in hospital, they definitely made a very strong point of keep reminding me how dangerous it was and how much I needed to look after myself. So I knew the next 3 months were going to be quite a challenge. And it's definitely fair to say that mentally it has been a bit of a roller coaster, because for me, all of my eggs are in one basket. Injuries are tough enough for anyone, but what I mean by all of my eggs are in one basket is that mountain biking is my job, it's my career. And when you cut that off, it's literally like cutting cutting everything off in life that you know. And it's really difficult for me, I think it's really difficult to be in that situation and not have a huge amount to focus on. And it's really important that you try and keep your head above the water and stay strong up here. Generally, I would like to think that I'm quite a positive person. I always try to find good in bad situations, even if that good thing is 0.5% and it's 99.5% bad. There's always something you can take. And when I was in hospital that week, it was a difficult week. I was laid completely flat. I couldn't even sit up to eat or anything. And obviously that has an impact on the rest of your body. But I was already starting to think about the positives. I was trying not to focus on the negatives. And the positives being, it was getting towards the end of the year, and I was just going to use the time that I was going to be recovering to set everything up for the following year, decide what events, because the world's improving thankfully, decide what events that I wanted to attend. I was going to sort out projects with sponsors, sort out what we're doing with the YouTube channel and what content I want to create there, and also the merchandise which many of you invested in, and there is actually another drop coming soon. So I'm grateful that you invested in the last one, and I'm stoked to share the next one with you. So I was trying to focus, instead of the injury and being off the bike, I instantly sort of put the bad things into like a little compartment in my brain and locked it and tried to keep them out of the way, and focus on the good. But this isn't always possible. And as the weeks have gone on, it's the 11th week now since the crash, like I just said, and I've got another month until my final scan, which is hopefully going to give me the go-ahead to get on the bike. And as positive as I've tried to be, there's been a lot of times through this where my life's been super disturbed, and it has been so difficult to be positive. And I think it's easy to beat yourself up in them times and be like, oh, you know, when you're having a bad day or a run of bad days or even weeks. I've had like bad weeks where your sleeping pattern's off because you can't do much during the day, so you're not tired at night, and then over the course of a few days it just goes out of control. And it's important, really important, not to be too hard on yourself. And you know, I'm sure many of you have had injuries, or you're coming through an injury like I am now, and I've had quite a few injuries, and my advice would be to just cut yourself some slack. find other things that you're interested in. I turned into the biggest geek in the world. I bought an Airfix model of a MotoGP bike. I'm a massive bike fan, so that's been on. I've been able to watch that and go watch the racing. And when you have bad days, which you're going to, you've got to just accept that that's fine and just try and, you know, take some pressure off yourself. And then when you can again, just focus on the good things, because you're only a human and you can only take on so much up here. The most difficult things for me through this injury period have definitely been that it's almost impossible for me to put cycling or mountain biking or riding or whatever you want to call it to one side, because I'm so heavily invested in it time-wise and the people I'm around. Obviously, I spend a lot of my time with Cara. It's her job, so we're always doing that. We live with Sam, and that's a mountain bike house. There's jumps in the garden, they're out there riding, and them sessions and things have been really tough for me to sort of be there and not be able to go join in. I think at the start of the injury, I kind of, like I say, I locked that away and didn't really think about it and was focused on all like the admin-y side of it and projects and stuff for the future. But I remember like one night just waking up super late and just having that fire in my belly and standing at the window like, come on, I want to get on the bike and I just want to go and smash it now. So it's random like mood swings like that which you have for a period like this, which I find. And I think that does come from being around it all the time, whether you want to switch off from it or not. I can't really do that. It's almost impossible. But in a way, I do think that's a good thing, because it has kept me really busy and it has given me something to focus on, which I do love and I do enjoy. We did take a bit of time off. There was about 2 or 3 weeks we had where we didn't do any videos and stuff. But I think that is also important, because this job's funny. On the one hand, our life is just a holiday all the time, so you can't moan. But on the other hand, you don't ever get a break. So it's a funny trade-off and a funny balance. So to actually have a few weeks where I didn't have to think about filming stuff was good. But then the type of person I am, I do find it difficult to put things down, and I keep finding myself like, oh, I should be doing something, or I should be cracking on with this. Other things that I found difficult is very similar, but just being around it, like going to the race with Cara. She done an enduro race, and being amongst it again was really hard because you just want to ride. You know, you're out there seeing you guys, talking to you people, and it just makes you want to get back on the bike and ride. And it seems like such a long way to go when you are in those situations and you know that you can't do anything. It seems like you just feel a certain level of disconnect from what you love doing. My previous experience with injuries is to do with that word disconnect that I just used. So what I mean by that is the first injury I ever had, I think I was off the bike for about 6 weeks, and I was quite a bit younger, and in my head I was like, it's not affecting me, whatever, like I'm itching to get going again, blah blah blah, won't affect me, da da da. And then I remember just getting my bike out, putting my pads on even felt weird, wearing a helmet felt strange. And then when you stand over a bike and you feel the grips in your hands, you feel the brake lever, and you then stand up on the pedals, it felt, I was like, oh my God, I wasn't ready for it to feel that different. And with experience, I've had a few injuries now, and with experience, you learn to recognize or understand how it's going to feel. And what's strange to me is, although I've been really heavily invested still in, like I say, planning things and organising and amongst the scene of everyone riding and stuff, as in terms of actually getting on a bike and going to do a backflip or a tail whip or trying to put a run together or going to send something and get yourself in that frame of mind, I feel so disconnected from it. It almost feels like when you have done something in your life and you look back on it years ago, I feel really far away at the moment from being able to do what I do, or like I say, just get back on the bike. The reality of that I know is there and it's real, and it's something that when it comes around you're going to have to sort of get your head into the zone and just build up slowly. But it's also, it can make you feel quite panicked now because it's just unfamiliar, and being that disconnected from it and feeling that much disconnect is quite, sometimes it can be quite a scary feeling. And I think I think you've just got to try and put it to the back of your mind and not let it worry you, because I know when I get back on a bike, like the last video we did with the 10 tricks, I jumped onto my bike just in the field and instantly rode across the field no-handed. I did a track stand with taking my hands and feet off instantly. So I know to some degree it's going to be there, but I don't know why this time I've just felt a really big disconnect from what I know in life and what I do. This whole thing might sound super confusing, and brains and minds are so technical. So to try and sort of clearly explain how you're feeling, or how not just me but anyone maybe going through an injury is feeling, and make it clear is probably quite difficult. But physically my body feels really good now, and I think this has been one of the most confusing aspects of this injury. And if I've seen you out and about and we've spoken, then I for sure probably would have chewed your ear off and told you that physically there doesn't look or feel to be anything wrong with me now. I'm in no pain whatsoever, and it's confusing because I think if you have a broken leg or broken arm, or like when I had my shoulder all like this, it was it's clear there's something wrong. And this injury hasn't been like that. It's internal, and the risks are so much greater if you do knock it or damage it, because you can bleed to death, and that's the reality, and that's the scary thing. But being so able-bodied, like when we're out filming, I run around with my camera bag on, I'm up and down the slopes and hills and this and that, and it's a real weird thing because it's like, well, I can do that, but why? And then you've got to try and remember why you can't ride, and it's like, yeah, but it's if you crashed and if that happened. And it definitely is something that I don't know if it's difficult to explain to people or people don't really see or understand, but from my point of view, and I guess that is the most important thing, since my body is like, I know what the doctors and all the professionals told me in the hospital that week. It was really, really drilled into me, like how serious it could be if I re-injured it in like initially. Looking to the future, or the immediate future, I think that I can't wait to get back on the bike. My scan is in 4 weeks, so as long as everything is good there, then I can get back on the bike and slowly start to get back into it, which I'm so excited about. I've got some really exciting things, like I said, that I've been planning and working on for the next years, and with the channel and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like, although the time's been difficult and some days it feels like I've just done the bare minimum, I think that generally it's gone really well. And any of you that are coming through injuries and things like that, just try to keep your head above the water, try put certain things to the back of your mind, and try bring all the important positives to the front of your mind, and stay as positive as you can, because nothing's permanent, and you will get through it and you will come out the other side. That was just a quick injury update video. I don't want to sit here and bang on too much because I'm a bit of a motor mouth and I could talk for England. So plans in the next few weeks between now and the scan: keep making videos, keep getting amongst it. Like the session in the yard, I think you guys really liked that. The one with Cara and Charlotte and the little kids, that was good. That was a really funny day, actually. I love being able to give something back to the young Groms and see them shred, and their excitement is really cool. So perhaps I'll get back in the middle of a session like that. And this very building is still within its transformation stages, and I'm at the point now where I can cut timber, screw things to the wall, make things, do this and that. So this is what my focus is at the moment. I'm super excited. You guys are interested in this project. I love getting hands on and doing things. So I'm actually going to finish this video now and start the next bike storage episode, which will be the next video. So I hope that you've enjoyed this one. Leave some comments below, give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.